Can you move a little on the left? Yourself to the left. Your body. Not the chair to the other side.
Your left.
Yes, my left. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Welcome to Cafe Latino. As every week, we have an amazing people here, and today is no exception. We invite Cheryl Buford. How you doing, Cheryl?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here, Laura.
So Cafe Latino is a place that we share with the community. And I think it's very important to invite people that is running for a school board. But we are going to talk about that later on. I usually ask my guests to tell me about yourselves. Tell me a little about where did you study, where they coming from, did you raise here in Virginia?
No, I'm actually raised in the Midwest in a suburb of Kansas City. I lived there all the way through college. My first degree was from Kansas State University, but after that I have moved a lot. So I was in Chicago, then Texas, Virginia, back to Chicago, the Northeast, and then we settled in Virginia in 2000.
So, want to ask you, what did you study?
Well, my first degree, my bachelor's, was in education, and it was, at the time, it was vocational home economics. Now it is part of career technical education. I didn't know it at the time, but that is one of the most critical areas of education today, and something where Fairfax County Public Schools has been lacking.
What was your motivation to, in that time, when you are so young, to study education? What was your motivation at that time? Do you remember?
Well, it wasn't a well thought out plan, actually. It was one of those things where I kind of fell into it, but in retrospect, it was a fabulous background for me. I love kids. I love to see them grow and develop, and the field I was in combined both practical experience and theory, and it's something that's very practical.
And after you studied the bachelor's, you had a master's? You did master's?
Right.
Okay.
I have 2 masters. The first one is in an area specialization for teaching called family economics. And my primary time doing as a teacher was in the suburbs of Chicago. And Illinois required years ago personal finance, and that is something that Virginia just started requiring a few years ago, but Illinois was doing it a number of years ago. So the family economics was a degree that gave me expertise in that area.
And what is the second master that you have?
My second master's it's called Public Affairs, a Master of Public Affairs from the University of Texas, the Lyndon B. Johnson School of Public Affairs, but it's really focused on public policy.
So we love stories here in this show, so nobody gets out. So we wanted to hear your love story.
Oh, my love story. Yeah, that's a great story. Well, I met my husband in Austin, Texas, when I was working on my second master's degree, and our paths probably would not have naturally crossed because he was in law school and I was doing this master's program that I just described. So we were at a pro-life rally, actually.
Look at that.
And he and a friend were passing out brochures for a conference, not specifically focused on pro-life issues, but it was a Christian thinker who really wanted people to go deeper in their understanding of the implications of Christian faith for the world around us. And so he offered me a brochure, and I was very excited and had a conversation, and the rest is history, as they
Oh
say.
my God, that's amazing. I love love stories, you know. And then you married, you have 2 children?
Right, yeah. Actually, if we could go back for just a second, the more interesting story than how we met was how we sustained our relationship, because he moved to California to take a job with a law firm after he graduated. I was still finishing my degree. I wrote him a couple letters because we had just dated casually, and so I didn't hear back, and I thought, this was another time where I just was too slow. I should have moved. I should have been a little bit more assertive when he was here. And he finally wrote back and was very apologetic. I asked him, I asked a friend actually to give me all the legalese that he knew so I could write something funny back to him. So I said that your plea for mercy, because in his letter to me, he said, I decided that because I hadn't written you, I should throw myself on your mercy and plead for leniency. So I wrote back and said, your plea for leniency is forthwith denied. And so anyway, he continued the banter and came back to visit me in Austin, and that's when our relationship really started getting serious.
Oh, how cute is that? And then where did you marry?
Well, we married in Austin, Texas. That's where our friends were, and our families came to Austin, and so it was a great celebration. And then we were on the move. That's when we were in Houston for 4 years, moved to DC for about 2 years, moved back to Illinois. I was following his career, basically, and so kind of reinventing myself in different locations.
So fast forward, what have you been doing here in DC? Tell me a little about your background here in DC.
Okay, well, while I've been here in DC,
in Virginia.
right,
DC.
in the Virginia area, yes. So when we moved here in 2000, my children were 4 and 6, and so I plunged into being involved in our schools.
Of course.
And so I started that first year as a room parent, and then as they went on, and my husband was working all the time because he was with a law firm, so during that initial few years, I really focused on the kids and school. I had a substantial role in Colvin Run Elementary School. We were part of the school when it opened, and so I know about boundary changes because we were our boundaries changed when that new school opened, and I was part of chairing the character education program, which all schools in Virginia are required to do something.
Can you tell us all about what is that?
Sure. Yes, we had an incredibly robust program. It was wonderful, and it continued for many years after I left. I'm not sure whether it's continuing today, but it was really comprehensive. The focus was to inspire students and give them a vision of good character. So we picked 4 traits: honesty, respect, compassion, and I'm forgetting the 4th one at the moment, but and we had shapes. It was called Project Shape the Future, and so we cut out shapes, and teachers would when they observe students displaying one of these characteristics, they would give them a shape as a badge.
Beautiful concept.
Yeah, and we also combed the literature, so we aligned literature because children love stories.
Of course.
And so we provided teachers with books that aligned with their curriculum, but also displayed and helped children really understand how good character related to their studies. We had a parent education component to this. It was a committee of the PTA, and so we had a parent education piece of it, and we also over time developed service projects for each of the grades to be involved with. So it's very multifaceted.
So we're here in Cafe Latino with Cheryl Buford, and so now you're running for a school board. What is your main idea? What motivated you to run for a school board?
Well, what motivated me is severalfold. One, I looked and I'm troubled by the direction that the school board is going, and I see a lot of missed opportunities. Since I talked a lot and spent a lot of time talking about the character education program, what we didn't talk about is when my children were a bit older,
Yes.
I worked at the U.S. Department of Education on programs, innovative programs
Yes.
to help at-risk youth. So I have that background as well as having been a teacher, and my own children were blessed to be in advanced academics, so I've seen that part of education as well. My last volunteer project was to chair the Government Relations Committee at Thomas Jefferson High School. So I think I'm the only school board member who's actually lobbied legislators in Richmond and secured additional funding for the district. So I have a pretty extensive background in education and education policy, and I love this community. My children are grown and doing well, but my work isn't finished, and I want to put it to work for the sake of children going through the system now and for the broader community.
So yeah, you're so unique in the way that you're really well prepared for so many years. Can you, if the people is listen to us, what would be the three things that you people would like to remember about you? Three things that you wanted the people remember about you for this next November 5th.
Right. Well, three things. One is that I have this broad base of education and
Yes.
policy experience. I have access and am connected with think tanks and experts around the country. One of my concerns is the current school board seems to rely a lot on staff, and they get, when they hire consultants, they tend to tell, at least from the outside, it seems that the consultants tell them what they already want to know. And I will bring fresh thinking to the board because I have independent source of expertise. So that's one thing. I am absolutely focused on serving our community and our students. That's the only special interest I'm beholden to. I want the board to be much more transparent and not focused on their own ideology, but focused on the well-being of students. And again, that's where my expertise is particularly important, because I want to put aside all of the ideological preferences and say, what is going to get results for our students?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the last one?
The last one is that I take well, it's related to the second one. I will take good ideas wherever they're found. The current school board has discounted, for example, charter schools. I know you're very involved with charter
Absolutely.
schools.
I love it. I did that a lot in DC.
Right, yes. And so there are two roles that charter schools can play. One is, what are they doing differently? Because their results with at-risk kids are
Amazing.
amazing, so far superior to what we see in the public system. So, number one, we need to learn, what are they doing differently? How can we incorporate that into our programs in Fairfax County schools? But secondly, the state legislature has given the school board the responsibility to evaluate charter proposals.
Absolutely.
And this school board will not approve any of the proposals that have been brought forward. And so people that want to start charter schools have given up and gone
Absolutely.
elsewhere. So DC has a number of charter schools.
Absolutely, yeah.
Loudon County has 2 with wait lists. We have 0.
Absolutely, and I think that is an alternative for the parents, that we should give the rights to other options.
Right.
You know, that we
Right.
should give the rights.
Right. Yes, and Karen Corbett Sanders, when she was debating Stephen Mosley, said categorically, charter schools are not right for Fairfax County.
Absolutely, I think that 25 years, we have not seen results. As a parent of my 2 kids, I think we have not seen results, and we need to have a change.
Right.
So can you tell the community how they should vote this November 5th?
Oh, well, that's an easy question.
So can you explain they can vote for 4 positions?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm running for an at-large seat on the school board, and when you go to vote, notice I said when, not if. When you go to vote, you can vote for 3 at-large candidates, and I would encourage you in the strongest terms to hopefully vote for me, but also to vote for my colleagues, Priscilla DeStefano and Vincent Xavier Palafingal.
Yeah, and we have a webpage. What is choose?
Yes.
The webpage that they can check it
Right.
out.
Choose the number 4 for Fairfax.com.
Just choose number 4 for Fairfax.com, and we will put this information in the video. And the last thing, could you please tell us what is your webpage if the people would like to support you economically, volunteering? So I think it's important to tell the people about that.
Right. Yes, my website is very easy, CherylBuford.com. CherylBuford.com. And at this point, the most critical need are volunteers.
Absolutely. We're knocking doors to the last minute, so anybody, please visit our webpage. And you have an hour or 2 every day, please come to help us.
Right.
We'll see you soon, and thank you very much, Cheryl, for coming. This is Cafe Latino.
Thank you. I didn't cough.
Café Latino es a hangout for the bilingual listener. Escucha buena música en español, como también interesantes conversaciones con audiencia local bilingüe. Tune into Café Latino.